This one's been a while in the making, but today I'm finally going to talk to you about why the whole blessing system is garbage. Greetings and salutations, my name is Deltran, and I want to talk about Fire Emblem Heroes on the way home to work. Specifically, I would like to talk about the blessing system, because I don't really have anything nice to say about the entire thing. So let's just dive right into it. There are three big components of this, and the first thing is the blessings themselves. Now, oh boy. Alright, I'm going to try not to get ranty on you here, but the blessings themselves, they don't really do anything for you. They seem to be like this nice little extra layer of customization, but really it's sort of at a whim as to whether or not you benefit from it at all. To go into something a little bit, there's this idea in games that you can have sort of random elements appear so that you could go ahead and spice things up, you know, just get things messy once in a while. There is no luck mechanic in Fire Emblem Heroes, and other Fire Emblem games there are, but you know, for the most part, what they took from the series and they put into Heroes is the idea that it's all about your strategy and tactics. Between the two, that's what's going to win you the day. There is no random element. You can count everything, you can calculate everything. It's all very tangible, very understandable. So you introduce this idea that it's like, oh, you know what, for a couple of weeks, every other month, and then maybe a random week here and there, you're going to get a bonus on a hero if you put the right configurable item on them. What's the purpose of this thing? I mean, seriously, it tries to add randomness in a way that is calculatable, and that sounds bad, because it is bad. It's absolutely terrible. It doesn't do anything for you. Sure, once in a while you get to do something cute, like add an extra 3 speed onto Ira. Or maybe, you know, usefully, sometimes you can add 3 extra speed onto a hero who really needs it. Speed is the thing that has the biggest bang for your buck. So whenever you have speed being added to somebody, it's great. But you know what, otherwise, I mean, like, nobody's sitting there going, oh man, I really wish it was fire season so that I could feel my Baruka, because otherwise if she doesn't have that 3 defense, well, she's useless. That doesn't happen. It really is purely extra. Now, it also gives you extra hit points. That's cool. It's not like you get those in Bound Hero battles or anything like that, really. I mean, like, if you could just walk in and always have this on, if you had the legendary hero outside of Arena at least, maybe it would do something. As it stands right now, the only thing that the sacred blessings are useful for are double SP gain, which is wonderful. With these banners that are opening up like at the beginning of the weeks now instead of the end, I love that, because now I get to have double SP and before the weekend. You know, it's wonderful. Otherwise, they're completely extra. They are not valuable to someone who likes to build heroes. Maybe if the sun and the moon align, you get to do something cute with them, but that's about it. It has no tangible value outside of that. So they've just given us something that has let us have a little bonus SP once in a while, and that's it. So if these sacred blessings don't do anything for you, okay, that's fine. There's 2 other components to this. Let's talk about legendary heroes next. I feel... and there's 2 parts to them. There's the heroes themselves, then there's the banners that they're on. And I will talk about the heroes first. You know, it's sort of neat that these legendary heroes, they come with better animations. They come with better art. They look nice. Like, if Ryoma is your favorite, and if you haven't noticed, I sort of like Ryoma. If you haven't noticed them, go subscribe. The idea is that it's wonderful that you could have such a hero like that. You go ahead and go summon that Ryoma, and you have your favorite hero again, all buffed up, all shiny, looking very impressive, hopefully with a couple of new toys. And you know what? They come with a full kit, pretty much a full kit, that is useful. Right out of the box, you don't have to change anything on any of them. Does that mean there's not room to improve? Of course not. There's always room to improve. Let's not get crazy. But you don't have to do much to them, with the exception of Fjorm. She really needed that quick riposte seal. But you could just give her a quick riposte in a B slot. I mean, like, and otherwise you leave everything on her. You don't even need to do, like, steady breath or warding breath or anything that drastic. So outside of those tweaks, you have a fully usable character right out of the gate. But this sort of ties back into my last point, in that if you have, let's say you want defense, okay? And you have Ephraim as your legendary hero. Blue horsey unit, fire, so you go ahead and put a fire badge on somebody so that they get that extra defense. What if that person is like Naui? You don't need another blue person on your team. Maybe having one to an attack is fine, but you know what? You don't. It's encouraging you to randomly make bad teams. And I'm not saying like all these matchups are like this, but I mean, once again, let's take a look at, let's say you pulled Bolin, okay? That's plus attack. Well, guess what? Other archers like that plus attack. Let's go ahead and put your Bo Cordelia out there with yet another archer. You don't need that. At least they're different colors, which is something. But it's not like there's any super great synergy. I mean, I was looking to figure out where to put Fjorm, and there's places where you would want to have a tanky blue unit that is not armor or not. Actually, I don't know why you wouldn't use Naui. I take that back, but I'll finish that thought. There's times where other units would be not just, or at least just as viable as Fjorm will be in some of these setups. But you have this thing where it's like, well, no, I want Fjorm because I want the extra speed on somebody, and so I'm gonna go ahead and give it to like someone else. Now, like teaming that up with Ira, that was a very obvious thing to do in the beginning. That's great. If you have Fallen Celica, that's also another great thing to do. So there's plenty of heroes that will use it. But if you're sitting there like, oh, well, I don't care about the hero pairing, I care about the bonus that I am getting. Well, now all of a sudden, you're being pigeonholed into how to make your team. And sure, we're going to come out more legendary heroes as time goes on, but there's already 2 for everything except for fire as of recording. But it's not like there's no guarantee that you're going to get a flyer and a horsey and one of each color and everything. Now, you probably will, but I mean, they've already broken the trend a little bit by having 2 greens. They're both ranged, and one of them is an archer. So it's not like you're going to get a perfect spread of legendary heroes, at least anytime soon. And so that just sort of puts you into this position where it's just not viable to say, like, I'm going to go ahead and make a team around this substandard pairing just so I can get that +3 attack. And, well, lucky me, I only have to do this a couple times a month because that's the only time it's valid. Real quick, I just want to say I am so sorry for what's about to happen. I still need to include it, and I'm just so sorry. So the blessings themselves aren't doing you any good. These legendary heroes are encouraging suboptimal pairings, even whenever the hero is arguably good, which I think it's very easy to reason that not too many of them are like that fabulous. Even the new Ryoma that has like a nice stat buff, I'm not sitting here saying that I need to pull that or else. These legendary banners that they're on, though, make it impossible to even want to desire to build these heroes. If you're just getting into the game, legendary banners are sort of neat because you get access to heroes that you have missed, and if you really have a favorite, now you're given a chance to sort of come back to them again. Although I think we're going to see that the last year's seasonal banners are going to reappear alongside voting gauntlets, if not for the voting gauntlet, just as a banner for it. So that's a really cool thing that IS is doing. And that's the thing is, you know what? IS is giving us a lot of good stuff still. I'm not bagging on what they're giving us. I mean, people wanted Ryoma to have an upgrade. It wasn't a huge outcry, but you know what? They wanted him to have an ult. They wanted him to have something special, and he got it now. People have been excited for Grima, and so now they gave us both Grimas, one being legendary. There is a lot they're doing for us, and you can easily get so many orbs in this game, and you can spend to your heart's content on these, but the way things are set up, the percentage is actually quite terrible. You would think with 8%, you would be set to just be raking in the 5-star heroes. And you know what? I've seen it happen. Actually, I was watching a summoning video from Nanissa Gamer today. Yes, today, as of recording today. And she had about 100 orbs, and she got 3 5-star heroes on that. Congratulations, by the way. I got crap. And then in the comments we were talking about it, and she asked, "Oh, are you gonna pull more on this banner?" And I said no for 2 reasons. The reason that I put down in the comments was that I'm trying to get a plus 10 Bridal Tharja. I was just super excited. I want that unit. So that's where the rest of my orbs are going. But, you know, I didn't really put that many orbs into the banner because I can't stand pulling on it because you just don't get anything. Not only does it seem like funny that once in a while you'll bump into some people that just are not getting anything for that banner, just like any other banner out there, but with that 8%, it's not like you have an 8% chance of pulling Ryoma. You don't have an 8% chance of pulling Halloween Harry. You have, or Henry, not Harry. Sorry. You have a set chance to get any one of those 12 units. And that 8% is not evenly split up amongst the colors. It is proportionate to how many units are in that pool. I'm not going to go through all the math because not only am I driving, well, sitting in traffic, but I'm also, it just would be a little bit boring. There are other videos on it. There's other posts on that. You could easily find that information if you want to know what it's like. But no, it's really just not good. It's right now at the same time there's a Zelgius banner going on, and if you wanted to wail on something, that's the one to wail on. Red is one of the hardest to get a focus unit out of. However, I mean, like, if you're like sitting there like, oh, I want Ryoma and I want Zelgius, forget Ryoma, go with Zelgius. It is so much better for a lot of reasons, but at least you're going to get Zelgius reasonably. You're not guaranteed to get Ryoma with any kind of margin there. So the seals don't do anything for you. Legendary heroes are sort of meh. Their banners are terrible. Well, what about the Blessed Gardens? Well, let's talk about this. So whenever I saw that legendary heroes were coming out, I already saw into the future, and I knew that they were going to lock content behind some sort of paywall involving these legendary heroes. And when the Blessed Garden was announced, I was like, aha! I knew it! I knew it! And as it turned out, I was a little bit fear-mongering for no reason, because once again, IS is nice to us, and you can easily get enough blessings. You don't just need legendary heroes. You can get enough blessings to be able to field teams of 4 and do this content. It might not be a great team for every single board, but you can at least have the opportunity to do so. And so once again, to IS's credit, thank you. Thank you so much for letting us get all of that wonderful, wonderful stuff between the orbs, between the blessings, so that it's not handicapping us in any way. However, I also have to thank IS, because whenever it first came out, people were like, hey, no, this isn't so bad, these gardens. You know, it's not so bad. You can have, every week they're gonna refresh a color, and like, we're getting like, what, 25 orbs when it first came out, with all the maps included and everything like that. And I mean, because every 5 maps, you get 5 orbs. what's sort of nice. I mean, it works out to like one orb map, but you know, regardless, when it comes down to it, you had a lot coming from this, and people are like, hey, I can go ahead and get like 4 new maps every week. That's great. Well, then IS steps in, and no, they give us 1 new map every week. 1. And not to sound ungrateful, because I'm not ungrateful. However, what's the difference between this and the rotation of maps that we get in the event, or not in the events, in the special maps thing? There's not a heck of a lot at this point in time. They get to vary the rewards you get all the time, instead of saying like, oh yeah, you get like 2 sacred coins and 1 orb and this and that. Like, they get to spread out the rewards and do something special with them a little bit, which is nice. You know, it makes it a little less monotonous, I suppose. But you take all of that and then you rearrange the screen and make the Blessed Garden like right there. Look at how ugly that is. Looks like a butt. It's just terrible to look at. And so you have this situation where you used to have Tempest Trials up there, and then, you know, they smushed it, and the Voting Gauntlet. Both of those used to be on that home screen. Then they smushed it down into just this events. And I can understand, because now they have Grand Conquest, and now they have Tap Battle. That's understandable, but Blessed Garden is not that big of a deal that it needs to have its own place. Arena, and having Arena Assault there, that's something that you could go to continually, go to daily, and keep going through and attempting to, at least, to reap some sort of reward. All the special maps now, that the rotations they have every day, there's always a different map there, and you may have already burned through all the content with the repeats, but you're going to see other stuff there pop up there, and technically it's changing every single day. Not going to go through the rest of these, really. Blessed Garden changes once a week. It doesn't need to have that kind of spot. If anything, since it's repeats of story maps, it needs to be brought down into story mode. It needs to be put underneath of the chain challenges, and then in the squad assault, so that you can access it that way. That makes the most sense to me. So I don't know why it's taking up so much space. If anything, the front page should let you just tap right into the most recent real special event that happens. You know, Tempest Trial, Voting Gauntlet, something like that. So you can jump right into that. And I know that might be a little confusing, but at least that's what I think. So that you'd be able to quickly get into whatever the most recent big thing is. You don't need to have Blessed Gardens on the front page. Thank you for not paywall locking us from the content, IS. But it's not that important, it's not that special, and it's not even new. It's not even new. There's already Infernal difficulty. No, there's not Infernal difficulty of story modes, but we've already gone through Infernal content. This is the first time we've ever seen any kind of Infernal level difficulty out of those maps. And it's only happened, I wanted to say once, but I'll give them credit for 4, since they have 4 elements there 4 times. And I would like to see what's going to happen in the long run with this, which is one of the reasons why I have been postponing this, because I wanted to see everything they're bringing to us. It was obvious that this game's new. The game's not even 2 years old yet. They are definitely rolling out things in a slower fashion, because they know that Nintendo has a lot of goodwill. I mean, seriously, guys. It was Nintendo. I never played a Fire Emblem game prior to this, and I felt comfortable downloading this and giving it a try, because it's Nintendo. So, with all of that wrapped up, I don't see why we need to have the Blessed Garden there. It just seems like they're making a big to-do about absolutely nothing. It's not even like people have an opinion on it, where it's like, oh, I hate doing Blessed Garden. Oh, I love Blessed Garden. That's my favorite day of the week. Nobody says that. Nobody says either of those. Well, except for maybe me, but I'm not saying I hate doing them. I like to get the quick reward and then leave. It's just in a different style than, say, a weekly quest. And so, whatevs. But that's where I stand on that. It's raining, it's pouring. So the weather, much like my mood now, is gloomy. Now that I have talked about everything that there is concerning blessings. What do you guys think? Let me throw the question to you. Have I been too harsh on this system? Am I getting filled with too much nerd rage, or are you just as befuddled as I am? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And do me a favor, if you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like Grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy. Yeah, it's raining and now all of a sudden we can't drive. Thanks, Trey.